Hi, I'm Andy Racine, President of Chapter 3, District 2 of the American Academy of Pediatrics. Welcome to the spring edition of our electronic newsletter. I think you're going to find the articles that we've prepared for you both interesting and informative. The first thing I'd like to call your attention to is our strategic plan. Back in December, the leaders of this chapter met in Westchester to begin to formulate a set of goals and objectives that would guide the activities of our chapter over the next 12 to 18 months. With the assistance of Ken Slaw, who came from the National AAP headquarters in Elk Grove to help us out, the participants in this process identified 3 areas to concentrate on. 1, advancing child health. 2, enhancing member value. And 3, improving the organizational health of the chapter. Within the first of these domains, we identified 3 specific goals regarding child health that we would like to have the chapter concentrate on. The first will be to help members increase the rate of screening, identification, treatment, and referral of infants 0 to 3 for developmental, behavioral, and social and emotional problems, in keeping with the emphasis that the AAP is placing on early brain development. Second, recognizing that children receive medical treatment in a variety of venues, we intend to work toward identifying mechanisms to improve the flow of clinical information from these multiple venues back to primary care providers. Finally, transition planning to adult medicine for all adolescents, but particularly those with special health care needs, was identified as a priority area for us to concentrate on. Our plans to enhance member value will include continuing our work with the Pediatric Council to improve the ongoing dialogue that's been established with many of the major health plans operating within the chapter. Second, as New York State enhances reimbursement rates for practices achieving medical home standards, we hope to be able to facilitate the attainment of these standards by as many members as possible. Third, we know that maintenance of certification is on the minds of many of our members, and the chapter intends to help make this process as transparent and understandable as possible. As part of this initiative, I would urge you to have a look at the video that was prepared for this edition of our newsletter by Dr. H. James Brown of the American Board of Pediatrics. I think you'll find it to be a useful introduction to the entire maintenance of certification process. Finally, for our younger members, we intend to put into place a more formal mentoring program that will encourage more young physicians and physicians in training to become active in AAP activities. In the final domain of our strategic plan, the leadership wanted to ensure that we are doing all that we can to reach out to media, governmental and volunteer institutions in our geographic area, and others who are concerned about children's health, and that we are also doing the best job we can in communicating with members of our chapter. This electronic newsletter is itself a vehicle to promote this objective of our strategic plan. We would also like to concentrate going forward on enhancing our grant portfolio and on further encouraging the active involvement of young physicians in leadership roles within the chapter. This edition of the newsletter contains a link to the strategic plan. Feel free to download it if you'd like to consider it in some more detail. There are many other articles in the newsletter that I'd like you to think about having a look at, including reports from the committee chairs detailing the activities that are taking place at the committee level, updates about upcoming CME events that are about to occur within the chapter, information that I had mentioned before direct from the American Board of Pediatrics about maintenance of certification, announcements from the National American Academy, the New York City Department of Health, and much, much more. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Jessica Geslani, the chapter administrator, Lori Logano, the chapter secretary, and Doug Puder, the chapter treasurer, for the hard work that they put into preparing this newsletter for you. So I hope you're going to find it informative. And let us hear back from you. We're anxious to get your input and your participation as we work together to further the mission of the American Academy. Happy reading.